Hello everyone. Today we will be covering the 8th chapter of Class 6 Science NCERT, that is body movements. In case you are unaware and visiting this channel for the first time, I want you to know that Simple Classes has come up with a very important series for UPSC 2021 and preparation of other similar state PCS exams such as UPPSC, Rajasthan Administrative Services, etc. This is the 8th video in Class 6 Science series, so if you have missed out on the earlier sessions, I'd recommend that you must complete the previous videos so that there is continuity in learning. So in this session, we will discuss various types of body movements found in animals apart from human beings. We will discuss how various joints have a unique role to play in the way our bodies move, such as ball and socket movement, fixed joints, etc. Further, we will look at the underlying skeleton in human bodies and study its parts. Furthermore, we will then discuss how muscles play a vital role in our body's movements. And lastly, we will discuss how diverse are the gaits of various animals, some of which we will discuss in detail, such as earthworms, birds, snakes, etc. So since it will be a great learning session, I need your complete attention for the next 10 minutes. And if you have still not subscribed to our channel yet, then please do and make sure that you do not miss out on any of the videos by pressing the bell icon next to the subscribe button. So without any further delay, let us get started with today's session. We have such a diversified animal kingdom, and what's even more diversified is the manner in which they move. It's so interesting to observe different species of animals moving in such unique ways, and then there are some unique ones who can walk, fly, as well as swim. So let us begin this session with humans first. We all know how do we move, but what gives us the ability to move? To understand this, let us delve a little deeper into the subject. So throughout the day, we go about places moving our bodies in various ways. If you look closely, though we are flexible, but only in a limited way. All our body parts do not bend in the same way. We are only able to bend our bodies in certain ways and more importantly, only at certain places, such as elbows, neck, knees, feet, etc. All such places at which we are able to do so basically are the joints in our body. So any and every kind of movement in our bodies is attributed to joints. At each such joint, there are bones that join together, and this is what gives us various degrees of flexibility. For example, elbow is a joint wherein two long bones are joined together. If we did not have bones joining together at joints in our bodies, we would have not been able to move in the way we do presently. However, you must know that not all joints are of the same type. They vary with each other in different ways. Let us look at different types of joints and the respective part they play in our body's movements. So first one is what we know as ball and socket joint. It is one of the most complex joints present in human bodies. There are two ends in this joint. The partially spherical end lies in a socket and the very hollow structure allows for seamless rotation of the other end that fits right into it. So basically, the rounded end of the one bone fits into the hollow cavity of the other bone. This will become a little more clear from the picture. Herein, the thigh bone fits into the hip bone and is able to move in all the directions due to the cavity enveloping around it. Such joints are present in human bodies in more than one places, such as the hip joint and the shoulder joint. Next is pivotal joint. This name is given to a pivot joint in which two bones meet. Now one end of the joint is a cylindrical structure, while the other end of the joint is a ring-like structure. So depending on a certain joint, either the ring rotates inside the cylindrical end of the joint or the cylindrical end rotates inside the ring-like end of the joint. Either case is a possibility. In this picture, you will be able to see the cylindrical structure that is one end of such a joint. The other end is a ring-like structure. Other than the neck, it is also found in the wrist and the elbow joints. The next type of joints are called fixed joints. As the name suggests, these are immovable joints, so they do not move by themselves, but they do provide stability to the concerned body part. This will become clear to you from this example. In the picture, you can see how the upper jaw is fixed. It cannot move as it is connected through a fixed joint. If you try to move your jaws apart, you will notice that you can only move your lower jaw and not the upper one. Examples include upper jaw and skull joints. So far, we saw how different types of joints are holding all small and big bones inside our body. They play a fundamental role in providing us with the framework for our bodies to exist and sustain themselves. The framework that we are referring to here is basically the skeleton. Its purpose is to provide a structure to the body and facilitate its movement also at the same time. Further, it also provides support to the organs and muscles as they rest on it and protects various organs of the body such as the heart, lungs, brains, the spinal cord, etc. The skeleton further is comprised of three things: bones, ligaments, and cartilages. It is interesting to note that the number of bones decreases in our body as we move towards adulthood. The reason is that the bones fuse together as we grow. Therefore, there is a decrease from 306 bones at the time of birth to 206 during adulthood. Now let us examine various parts in the skeleton. If you look closely and try to feel it, you will realize that the bones in our hands are not singular bones. Fingers in our hands are made up of a number of smaller bones that are known as carpals. This is the reason why we are able to move our fingers with considerable flexibility. Else, this would not have been possible. Next, let us get to know things about the rib cage. It's sort of a box-like structure that joins together the chest bone and our backbone. There are precisely 12 curved ribs on each side of the chest. The purpose of this piece of skeleton is to protect the vital organs of the body along with providing support to the shoulder, upper abdomen, etc. Next part is called the backbone, which is literally and figuratively the backbone of the human body. This long column that you see here is the backbone. It is also called spine. It runs from the back of the skull to the pelvis. It's made up of a total of 33 smaller bones that are disc-shaped and are called vertebrae. They are further joined to the rib cage. What you see at the bottom in this picture is called the pelvic bone. It encloses the part that lies below the stomach. This is the part on which you basically sit down on. Next we have is the skull, and this is how scary it kind of looks like. The skull is made up of many bones that join together to form the skull. Its primary role is to provide the brain with a protective cover. So far, we have covered various bones and joints that keep them together in a way that allows movement in the body. Besides bone, the skeleton also comprises of cartilages. Cartilages are smooth elastic tissues, almost rubber-like. It provides a protective padding at the ends of the bones. You will get a better idea from this picture. As you can see herein, cartilages protect the ends of the bones by providing them with a rubber-like padding. These cartilages are not as hard and stiff like the bones. This structural component is present in various places in our bodies, such as the ears, the nose, the rib cage, etc. This rubber-like structure of the cartilage also plays an important function of helping bones in their movement. Another part of our body that helps the bones in their movement is known as the muscle. These are soft tissues that are elastic in nature. Therefore, they have the ability to contract and expand as the need may arise. Each muscle is made up of thousands and in some cases tens of thousands of small elastic fibers. Further, the muscular system in our body consists of three types of muscles: skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and lastly, cardiac muscles. Muscles help in the movement of the body, in maintaining the posture, and in circulation of blood throughout the body. You should also know that the behavior of muscles is governed by the nervous system. However, some muscles are definitely autonomous in their functions. So now that we have covered the aspects of body movements in humans in view of this chapter's scope, let us quickly look at the gaits of some of the animals. You'll find it quite interesting actually. Let us first understand what really do we mean by gait. It simply refers to the pattern of walking. And although walking appears to be a simple act, it requires precise balancing of various components in the body. So let's get to know about earthworms first of all. This is how they look like. An earthworm's body is made up of rings throughout. They do not have any bones whatsoever. Now you may wonder that then how do they move without bones? They use these rings to move. It extends the front part of the body while keeping their rear part fixed. Then they fix the front part of the body onto the ground and move the rear end. They are able to make grip on the ground using a hair-like structure that runs throughout their bodies. It's called bristles. Now this is the most interesting part. Thereafter, they shorten their body basically by contracting themselves so as to pull their rear end forward. They keep repeating this contraction and expansion to move in a forward direction. They also excrete a slimy substance which helps them in moving forward. And this is how earthworms move. Now let us look at the next one, which is snail. This is how they look like. You must have noticed a shell-like structure in the picture. This is the outer skeleton, but it is not made up of bones. Further, a snail moves with the help of its foot, which comes out of the opening of this outer shell which you see in the picture. If you ever happen to look at these very closely, you will notice that their feet move in a wavy pattern. Now next on the list are cockroaches. Interestingly, cockroaches are able to walk as well as fly. Their body is covered with a hard outer skeleton. These skeletons are not made by bones. Instead, they are made by plates that are joined together. They also help them in movement. They have 3 pairs of legs that help in walking and 2 pairs of wings that help them in flying. Cockroaches have defined muscle groups as well. The one near the legs are there to enable them to walk, while the other muscle group, that is the body muscle, that help them to move their wings. So cockroaches are after all quite interesting. Next are birds. This is a view of a bird's skeleton. So birds can walk, fly of course, and they can also swim. For example, ducks. So they are capable of moving in all kinds of ways that we can ever imagine. The structure of their hind limbs make it possible for them to walk and perch. Perching here means standing on something that is high up and narrow. You often see birds doing that. The lightness and the hollow structure of the bones make it possible for the birds to fly. Their forelimbs, which means the limbs in the front, are modified as wings, while there are breastbones that are modified to hold the flight muscle strongly to help them move their wings so as to fly. So next which we have are fishes, one of the most beautiful creations in this world. Fishes have a unique body structure and it's called streamlined structure as it narrows down at either of the ends. The structure itself is fundamental to their ability to swim through water. Its skeleton is covered with strong muscles. So if you look carefully when fishes are swimming, their front and rear parts curve in opposite direction. You will be able to understand this better from this picture. So when fishes move in the water, either ends of their bodies swing and curve in different directions. This helps them cut through water at a high pace. And they keep doing this repeatedly, meaning that they keep swinging into opposite directions to lunge forward into the water at a fast speed. Also, they have a structure called fins. These help in swimming, maintaining balance, and a sense of direction. And lastly, we have snakes. Now, these reptiles have a really long backbone that is critical to their movements as they slither through surfaces. There are a number of muscles inside the snake's body that are spaced with each other and interconnect the backbone, the rib, and the skin. So, a snake never really moves in a straight line. Their body keeps curving into loops, and each such loop makes them move forward. That's how they are able to move forward fast, but never in a straight line. So that is it, guys. This is the end of this session and the chapter. I hope you liked the video and learned something that might help you in your preparation. Please let me know your feedback about this video and please subscribe to our channel if you find our videos useful. We are looking forward to your support as it keeps us motivated to come up with comprehensive content for all of you. Thank you for your time. Have a good day ahead and please be safe.